what does the venue cost? How much is it going to cost for catering? How much is it going to cost to for my time in creating the content? What is my rate? How much is it going to cost for the balloon girl? How much is it going to cost to buy the table decorations, to buy the peds? How much you going to charge the vendors? I'm going to be honest, I haven't crunched the numbers to the T yet, but from the looks of it, there wasn't much of a profit. Hey, welcome to another episode of Stop Stalking Podcast. I am your host, your favorite mindset and accountability life coach, Miss Tasha Talks Life. Hey, I help guide you to your dream life faster by making simple, actionable tweaks to your mind, your body, and your goals. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Today, the last two episodes, I was talking about the Stop Stalking framework, acknowledgement versus amnesia, and then forgiveness for freedom. And so I was supposed to be recording the next two parts of the framework, but in the meantime, I had an event, which is the Momentum Masterclass that happened. So today I want to just talk about what that looked like, what that felt like, and some tips and some strategies on what that would be like if you decided to host an event, support women, cultivate a community, and things like that. First, I'm going to start off by saying I'm exhausted. At the time of this recording, it happened on yesterday, and I am super grateful for it. Okay, so I'm like the person that loves doing events, loves hosting, loves sharing, pouring, teaching, but it's so draining for me. I'm the most introverted extrovert, meaning I'm not a spontaneous person. Like when it comes down to hosting or going someplace, it has to be on my calendar. I have to prep my mindset in advance. I look at it every day to kind of gear myself up and get myself ready to perform or to attend. That's part of the process. And then after the event, it takes time for me to kind of refuel myself. Like it's like a massive decompression that happens. It's almost 24 hours and I still haven't posted anything about the event on social media because I am just still in my decompressing state, and that's not a good thing. And so as a solopreneur with no team in that respect, it could be a lot. So some things that I learned, and I didn't take any notes, which I should have, so that I can remember and stay on task. So the things that I had to have for this event was the caterer, the venue, and the balloons. My husband was the videographer. The panel guests were my friends or newfound friends and community. So I was able to get them to come and pour into the women that came to the event. And then I had vendors. I had to buy like decorations and set up and break down and all of the things, create the actual content, the workbooks, the emails, the links, the payment processing, like all of that. And I love doing this type of thing, but anytime that I have from the time that I have the idea to the time that it is executed, I am like, why am I doing this? And I realize that the greater good is the reason why I'm doing it in the first place is to impact, educate, and empower women. And so a lot of the feedback from the event was amazing. A lot of positivity, a lot of growth, a lot of mindset shifts. And so I'm just, grateful for it. I look cute. I have my little outfit, my cousin. So I'm the type that I would say that I know how to dress and I know how to put things together. And I would just send her screenshot pictures of the things that I'm thinking about wearing. And she would co-sign it or add a little touch. And she's amazing. And so I really look cute. I'm gonna put a picture of baby right here. And yeah, so it's a lot when you're hosting an event and you are charging people and you have vendors and you have food, and you want to make sure that you're gathering content. So one of the things that I would give, one of the pieces of advice that I would give, which I did not, and when you come to this show, it is full transparency. I am open and honest about the process, the journey, because it's all a lesson. I'm learning as I go. I am tweaking, and each event is better than the last. And so I'm okay with sharing the process and documenting the process. And so with this event, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't crunched the numbers to the T yet, but from the looks of it, there wasn't much of a profit, which I didn't really think about profit per se. But when you host an event, you are using your time, your resource, and things like that. You should be looking at some type of profit. But so the first tip I would say is, when you're looking to host an event, is that you want to calculate and write down and think about all the moving parts prior to setting your ticket price. You want to think about what does the venue cost? How much is it going to cost for catering? How much is it going to cost to for my time in creating the content? What is my rate? How much is it going to cost for the balloon girl? How much is it going to cost to buy the table decorations, to buy the pens? How much are you going to charge the vendors? My cousin actually sponsored the gifts for the speakers, which was really nice. It was a really nice big Stanley cups with the case, the strap with the pockets to hold your different thing, like super cute. So you want to factor in all the pieces to the puzzle. Before I start every episode, I just jumped right in. I want to start with the quote. And my quote is from Oprah Winfrey, and it says, "I've come to believe that each of us has a personal calling that's as unique as a fingerprint. And that's the best way to succeed, is to discover what you love and then find a way to offer it to the others in the form of service, working hard, and also allowing the energy of the universe to lead you." Oprah Winfrey. And I found this quote because it's so true. Like, I'm always thinking about, how can I serve? How can I, do better, have share, elevate, empower, educate. The first thing would be to map out all the parts, all the expenses, understand how much is actually going to cost you for the event, and then now you can kind of figure out what you're going to charge vendors and what you're going to charge for the ticket price. I did not do that. I just charged the same thing I charged in January, which in January, my caterer sponsored the food. The venue was free. The balloons were sponsored, right? So all of those things were sponsored. So, and I still didn't make a profit because I am serving, and I don't really, I didn't even think about like my time, my content, my printables, my resources, any of that. And so now going forward, here I am hosting an event at a new venue that costs money, paying for catering, paying for decor and all of that stuff. And I kind of did it backwards. I just charged the same, and then I had to pay. So another tip would be to hire help, right? Like, I really need an assistant or a project manager or something like that that's going to be able to pick up or take on some of the things that I was doing, as far as the emails, as far as reaching out to the vendors, reaching out to the venue, looking into it and all of that, where I can be in my creative as opposed to working on the business, right? Working in the business versus working on the business. And so hiring someone that can help you with that would be my next tip, because it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot to think about, a lot of to-do lists, a lot of cross-referencing, a lot of things missed. And then you're you're frustrated, you're feeling overwhelmed, and now you're not operating at your highest vibration so that you can perform and show up and, have the creativity, the lightness, and just really pour into your audience. I was able to eventually get there, but I had to really pray, get still, and be like, okay, it's all going to work out how it's supposed to work out, right? It's like, and then another thing that I would say in regards to preparing for an event, if you are hosting and the one putting it together, is run through your program, whether it's in front of a mirror, whether you have your friends sitting around and you're going through your program. Run through it, rehearse it, practice it, think about it, because that's just going to make it a little bit easier because you've already went through it. So it's not going to feel, because naturally you have nerves, right? That's just the human part of it, is when you get up there in front of all them people, your nerves kick in. Rehearsing your scripts, rehearsing your talking points, things like that is very helpful when it comes time to actually present, because you're familiar with it. Even though you may know it's your framework, it's your formula, it's your process, it's important to rehearse that or go through that, because now you've seen it already. You've reiterated it. So now it's going to flow a little bit easier. As I was in the moment, I had moments where I was seeing glimpses of, this event is going to be so much bigger than this, right? I can see that it's going to be hundreds of women there, and I'm on the stage looking cute as always, impacting, educating, inspiring, and I just see it. And so it keeps me, although after events I'm so exhausted because I'm doing it pretty much on my own, but when it's no, I'm not discrediting my cleanup crew, like my sister, my friend, my husband, my mom, my cousin, like they helped me at the end of it. I'm not even going to sit here and act like I was doing everything all by myself, because that's not true. But when it comes to the research, it comes to the content, when it comes to the processes, when it comes to the planning out the content, all of that stuff, I do on my own. So I am not saying by any means that I did everything on my own. I'm grateful for the people that had a hand in the parts that they had a hand in, because without even that, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So don't get it twisted. Don't be messy. Don't think that I'm trying to say whatever, because I'm not. I'm very grateful for the people that helped me at the end, because I was exhausted. I was tired. It was a really good, high energy, amazing engagement, but it's almost like the air was let out of a balloon at the end of the night. And that always happens for me. But so I hope those 3 tips helped you. And what would I tell my younger self? I would tell my younger self, no matter what the adversity, no matter what the challenge, the roadblock, keep going. When I tell you there was 2 girls, women in the group, in the audience, that were in their early 20s, and to hear them speak, one was a doctor. She's a doctor in physical therapy and something else. To hear her speak and to hear the other girls speak about their journey and having these authentic, real questions that they really want the answer to, it was so exciting for me, because I'm like, girls, y'all are in y'all early 20s. Can you imagine where they will be in their 40s? Because they've already tapped in. If I knew the things that I know now, if I knew those things in my 20s, my early 20s, I mean, so I'm so I was grateful that they were there. I was grateful that they showed up. I was grateful that they raised their hand. I was grateful that they opened their mouth, right? And so that's what it's all about. So just I say all of that to say that it's important to be in community. it's important to find like-minded women or people that are doing the things that you desire to do, that are in these spaces that you desire to be in, and coming in, adding value and growing, right? So I would tell my younger self to keep going and keep growing. Tap into these communities, ask the hard questions. No question is stupid, and get your answers, and then activate momentum to keep it going, to do what you're supposed to be doing. It was really good. So in January we did mindset, self-love, visualization, goals, actionable steps, all of that. This class, initially, I was headed in that direction. Initially, I was like, okay, we're going to look at the goals that we set. Because even if you didn't attend the vision board and go get a mastermind, you already know that you set goals in January, because we all set goals in January, we fall off, yada, yada, whatever. And so I decided, like, I want to take a different approach. I want to use the framework from the book. I wanted people to understand that before you could even achieve any goals, do the things that you say you're going to do, get the momentum to keep going, start making all these impactful changes in your life, you have to heal. You have to heal. You have to go inward and work on you and heal. And so the angle that I took was introducing the framework: acknowledgement versus amnesia, forgiveness for freedom, the mindset declarations, conscious celebration, so that you can get through that in order to now have the clarity and the confidence to say, those are the roadblocks. These are the things that I'm dealing with. This is how I speak life over myself. This is what I'm grateful for. This is who I need to forgive, so that I can now grow forward and become the best version of myself. Because it's all about, who am I becoming? Every day you should be becoming closer and closer to the ultimate person that you desire to be. And what does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that sound like? What does that smell like? Whatever, right? Yeah, I really enjoyed yesterday. I was in my zone. Yeah. And so before we end this episode, I'm going to end with the mindset declarations. You can write them down in your journal, repeat them after me, followed by the belief: I can do hard things. I am loved and appreciated. And this sentence is so profound for me for today, because yesterday I did a hard thing. And today I know that I am loved and appreciated by the text that I got in the morning, by the text that I got late last night, by the shares. People are really finding value in the information and the resources. And that's what it's all about. And that's what makes me warm and fuzzy and what makes me happy. So I'm grateful today. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful that I was able to afford it. I'm grateful that women showed up. We had a couple of women, I think about 5 women, that was unable last minute to attend. And that's okay. Who was there, who was supposed to be there, was there. And I'm just grateful for it. So I hope this helps you when you're thinking about hosting an event for women or people or children, whatever it is. You want to think about, what is this going to cost me? What's the total cost of all the things? So that now you know how you can either make your money back or make a profit by selling tickets and your vendor fee. Then you want to think about hiring somebody, hiring a support team, hiring an assistant, thinking about, who can help me to execute on this goal? Who can help me to execute on this event? Who do I need to get in contact with? Who do I need to, even if you have to pay them for, the day or whatever that is, who can help me execute? And then the third and final thing that you want to think about is rehearsing and working through your talking points, just so it's a little more natural and you understand the concept. Like for me, I knew my framework. I've rehearsed, I've talked, I've shared my framework countless times. It's in my book. I referenced it. I rinse and repeat it. I actually use it in my own life. So at that point, I can speak to it, no problem. But if you are doing a new talk or you're doing a new topic, you want to rehearse those talking points with a friend, with a close person that you can kind of get through it, and that's going to give you some feedback so that you can make it better and work on it, right? But yeah, so those are the 3 tips that I can think of right now. I should have maybe did some note taking and thinking about it, but in my brief reflection, those are the 3 things that stands out the most to me. Is what are the expenses and how much is it going to cost you, so that you can price your tickets accordingly. Who do you need to hire? Who do you need support from? Who do you need to ask for help? And 3, rehearsing all of your talking points in the flow of the show, or the program. So yeah, so I hope that helps you. Lastly, I have launched ETA, which is Empowered to Thrive Accountability Club. It is a relaunch. I had women go through it as a cohort, meaning a 12-week program, but now I have made it a membership. So you can be a part of this membership. You get one initial one-on-one session with me where we talk about the roadblocks, we talk about the dreams and desires, and then we talk about the next best step. So when you come into the community, you already have it mapped out on how you want to implement. So now you just have to keep going and going and going. In this community, we meet once a week. We do live Q&A, mini workshops where I have some of my friends come in and teach us on different topics that I'm not an expert in, as well as topics that I am an expert in. You get weekly coaching, you get feedback, you get held accountable, and then you also have VIP access to all upcoming events. You get discounts on promotional ads for the show. Like if you have a product or service, which most likely you do if you're an Empowered to Thrive Accountability Club. What else do you get? Resources, templates, recordings if you miss a session, so much more. You get so many different perks to being in this community for only $20 a month. That is less than lunch these days. That is less than lunch. And I know you have all of these memberships that you're paying on a monthly basis that you're not even using. So to be in a community with like-minded women that are going to educate and empower you to be your better self, to achieve your goals in a much faster pace, it's worth it. It's worth it. So I want you to look in the show notes. You're going to see Empowered to Thrive Accountability Club. It's $20 a month. You're going to register, join the club, and when you register, you'll get an email for when the date of the actual first session is and going forward. So I hope that you take advantage of this opportunity. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it open. So yeah, so click the link in the show notes. Check it out, join. You can cancel at any time, but I want you to be in this room only if you are serious about achieving and creating a better life for yourself, your family, your legacy. Until next week, I want you to have an amazing week. I want you to be well and to remember that your past, the things that happened to you, does not dictate your better future. Till next time.